are Judd Welch, the founder and CEO of Loyal. Loyal is a community development studio, and we work with brands and startups on designing and leveraging community. Loyal is now 2 years old, although I feel like I've been doing this my entire career. I started out working in politics, basically just wanting to do whatever I could to help make people's lives better. Along the way, though, when I was graduating, I realized that I couldn't afford to continue to work in politics, and at that time I was interning at Hillary Clinton's Senate campaign and really wanted to work on the 2008 presidential election. But I realized that I couldn't afford to work in politics, so I went into business and ended up working on Wall Street at Goldman Sachs. I didn't really love working on Wall Street, but I did fall in love with business there. And when I left, I ended up working with two really amazing community-oriented startups, Catch-A-Fire and TaskRabbit, both of which are community platforms. And it was there that I really saw the value and saw the opportunity in how you could really improve people's lives and impact their day-to-day through the relationships you help them develop with other people, as well as helping businesses to simply be better businesses and be more community and customer-oriented. Thinking about this question, what immediately came to mind is a conversation that I've had several times now with one of my best friends. Her name's Tamar, and she constantly reminds me whenever I'm having a tough day at Loyal that this is what I chose to do with my life. So about 4 years ago, I put in my 2 weeks notice at Goldman, and I had 0 opportunities lined up for what was next. I didn't have a job lined up, no job interviews, no job leads, nothing lined up next. I just knew that I was desperately unhappy in my work and really needed to do something else. And I thought that I really wanted to work for myself. Luckily, that turned out to be right. But whenever I'm having a tough day, like Tamara reminds me, this is the life that you chose, this is what you wanted, and now you work for yourself. So take advantage of that. One of my toughest challenges, honestly, is managing my own psychology. You have days when you're not sure if you're doing the right thing, or you become overwhelmed, and you need to persuade yourself that it's all okay and that you've got everything under control. For example, one of the recent changes that Loyal underwent earlier this year is we moved from having full-time employees in-house towards assembled teams of vendors and contractors. It was a move we needed to make to remain affordable to our clients while also providing them with increasingly higher value, but also to make higher margins for ourselves. But it was a difficult decision to make, and a difficult decision to move forward with, because I want to feel that I have a team surrounding me, and now I'm effectively alone, even though I'm not really alone. Nothing about Loyal's capacity has changed. It's simply the way in which we position ourselves, and I need to be able to position that move as a smart one to our potential clients and our current clients. And in order to do that, I need to believe that that was a good decision. So managing your own psychology is really important, and projecting outside to the world what it is that you want them to believe. And if you want someone else to believe something, you need to believe it too. So I need to constantly manage my perception of myself and of Loyal, and to remind myself that I do actually have things under control and everything is actually totally fine, and I shouldn't worry about the small things. One of the decisions I made early on with Loyal to help us to be the best business we could possibly be is to really take time for myself. If I'm not a whole person who has a dynamic life, I can't expect the same of my employees. And the data shows, and we all know empirically, that we need to take time off and take care of ourselves so that we can bring our most creative ideas to work. In fact, I even have it blocked off in my calendar every Monday and Wednesday morning. It's literally a meeting with myself, and during that time I go to yoga. So on Mondays and Wednesdays between 8 and 10 a.m. you cannot get a meeting with me, no matter how important you are. That time is strictly for me. And for every contractor and employee we brought in at Loyal, we've encouraged them to do the same. to block off in their calendar when they need to leave early or to have a weekly appointment with themselves. It's incredibly important that you take time to take care of yourself so that you can be fully present when you're here at work. One of the other decisions that we made early on is who we wanted to be as a company. I decided on the very first day I sat down to start Loyal that I wanted Loyal to be a quote-unquote good company. Not necessarily good in the way that we're a nonprofit or a social enterprise, but that we create real value in the world and for our clients. Sometimes that means that we turn away projects that could be a good fit for us and or that would pay really well. There's sometimes clients who come to us and they really want to work with Loyal, but they're not quite a good fit, or the answer that they're looking for is simply so simple that I could literally give it to them in a single line. And in that scenario, I'm happy to give them that value of a single line answer for free, simply because it's not really worth their resources to be spending money on a project when really they're looking for a single answer. And that's one way that we've shaped our moral character as a company right from the very beginning by making sure that we're providing the best value for our clients and that we're doing right by them. One of the big lessons that I've learned over the past couple years, and that I feel that I'm still constantly learning over and over, is that it's okay for me to do my own thing. One of the big insecurities I had when I started Loyal was that starting an agency was very different than what my peers were doing in tech. And they would ask me questions like, how are you going to make money, or are you going to raise money? And in reality, neither of those questions are relevant to our business because we have a client model and we always make money. And we're, in theory, always profitable. And it took a while for me to realize that it was okay for me to do something that was different than what other people expected me to do. And it's okay for me to continue to do that, particularly as Loyal is defining its own vertical of an agency. I had to become okay with people not necessarily understanding what I do.
Wow.